We're back and it is almost Christmas Day. It's the 20th of December 2024 and we are currently sat 5th place in the championship. And I'm not quite sure how we're doing this. We are picking up some very, very good wins. We're obviously not winning everything. We've got 8 defeats to our name, which is quite a lot considering you've got teams who are down in 16th place. Coventry, who will be playing in this episode, who will be kicking off against in this episode, in fact, also on 8 defeats. We just don't draw anything. We've drawn twice against Leeds and Sunderland. How have we got here? Well, in the last episode, I think we finished at the Leeds game, so we've beaten Watford and we've beaten Birmingham 5-1, a Birmingham team that we lost 3-1 against in the Cup earlier on in the season. We beat them 5-1 in this. We also lost 2-1 against Hull. Unfortunately, in that one, we did lose, which was kind of annoying. We were good enough to get something out of it, but then Philogene, who is ridiculous, by the way, in this game, that's Alfie Jones. Philogene, he's good. He scores goals. He likes to score goals. It was his first goal of the season, though. Yeah. He's good though, isn't he? 15 million's probably a bit steep for us. Not as steep as you think though, because our board have given us a little bit more money. We've got £2.786 million to spend in our transfer budget, and we're probably just going to do this, I think, push some over into the wages, because I am trying to do a little bit of business ready for January. There are some players who got released from their clubs in the summer, and have not signed new deals with anybody, and I'm trying to pick some of those up. Speaking of as well, I did say in the last episode I will show you some of the players that I wanted to sign in the summer and failed miserably. I'm going to do that now. 3 players were on our list to sign. Smorodov, on loan from Southampton, was going to be one of them, but for some reason he just kept getting cancelled without any explanation at all, just kept getting cancelled. We also tried to sign Eder Balanta, who is a Football Manager legend, I believe. And obviously, he's still good at 31 years of age. He would have been in as that Borning midfielder, but we couldn't get him, so we brought in Riedveld. So I think we kind of got a better deal because we got a younger player. The one that I really wanted was Dele Alli, who's currently playing in League One for Rotherham. It didn't make any sense to me. It was only us and Rotherham that wanted to sign him. And he went to Rotherham because they were in the Championship at the time when his contract expired, because they hadn't done the tick over into the new year, and Rotherham then got relegated and we obviously got promoted. So Rotherham seemed like a better deal on paper if you didn't pay attention to what the league was doing. Dele Alli's playing in League One, and I really wanted him. It's annoying that we didn't get him. So we're going to kick off then in this episode against Coventry at home. It is going to be Conor Boyce in goal, who is unhappy. Why are you unhappy? You want a new deal because you're a first-team regular. We'll sort that out in January, maybe. Ferguson, Holmes, McIntyre and Guinness Walker in defence. Offenborough and Hamilton in midfield. Banks, Onyedinma, Kelvin and Ballard leading the lines. You may well have noticed, you might not have done, but you might have noticed that players like Hamilton's star rating has now increased to 3.5 star as a central midfielder. I think Onyedinma might have even gone up. I think Offenborough hasn't, but basically people are starting to get better. I think Boyce Clark, that's his name. I think his has also increased from a 2.5 to a 3-star sweeper keeper on attack as well. So we're getting better, which is good. And there's lots of lovely lines everywhere. So this is going to be the first of 3 matches in this episode. We're going to do a match in January and a match early on in February as well. That is the plan. Obviously, we have the January transfer window. I'm not expecting big things. I'm expecting a couple of players to join, but nobody really major. I'm not looking to spend all of that money that we've just got given to us. Scott Banks has got his 7th goal of the season. He, by the way, has been on fire. I want to sign him on a permanent deal, and I think it could be done for about £500,000, so we might try and do that in January as well. Not that we need to do it in January, because obviously he's on loan until the end of the season, but I'd rather sign him than waste all of our money and then go, oh, probably should have signed him when we had the chance. Ferguson with a throw for us, 11.5 minutes on the clock. 1-0 to the good already. Scott Banks collects it, plays it on the ground to Mika Hamilton, and Hamilton's effort is just wide of Wilson's post. Could have been 2-0. So far in this match, Coventry have done literally nothing in terms of shots. They've had possession, not a huge amount of possession, but they've had some. They are not getting any shots away at all. Banks with a corner for us. It's McIntyre at the back post. Doesn't even bother jumping for it. Fair enough. Offenborough collects it. Down the left-hand side, still a lot of the players are forward. Kelvin's at the back post, heads it down to Don Ballard. Ballard hits the post. Second time, though, he does not. He puts it in the bottom corner. His 9th goal of the season. Took him a while to get going, but now Ballard has started to score the goals that we saw from him in League One. Still not quite at half-time. We've got another chance. Banks with the cross. Onyedinma's at the back post, and Onyedinma gets his 9th goal of the season. It is 3-0. It is not even 40 minutes played. I'm genuinely thinking, and it's far out, okay, but I'm thinking if we get promoted, we sign Don Ballard. We should get a fair amount of money from getting promoted to the Premier League. Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen, but there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. We try and sign Don Ballard because I know in this game he has a lot of potential. he's guaranteed to be very good if he gets the game time. And that's normally what scuppers a lot of young players in Football Manager, is they never get the game time. We're going to give him that game time because he'll be a lead striker. He's had 2 seasons of first-team football with us so far. He'll have a third in the Premier League. Ferguson with a corner for us. Kelvin's at the front post. Falls to Onyedinma on the half volley. Goes over the bar. 52 minutes played. 3-0 to the good. We are just cruising through this match. Probably need to take Kelvin off. Let's do Leai coming on up front. We're going to swap you 2 round as well because Leai works better, I think, as an advance forward rather than the pressing forward. Ferguson with a throw then towards Banks. Back to Ferguson on the ground. Finds Mika Hamilton, who's very, very good. But he's only on a 6.9 at the moment for us. Guinness Walker on the left-hand side. Lots and lots of blue and white shirts in the middle. Guinness Walker, can he cross it in? He does towards Banks. Banks doesn't even bother going for it because Wilson comes out, holds on. That wasn't a highlight. There was no highlight involved in that, so something else is going to happen in this. It is Mika Hamilton collects it in front of, I assume? That can't be Trevor, can it? That has to be Nathan Chalobah. Holmes with the ball in the middle to Hamilton. Back to Tom Holmes. Go down the line, please. Banks collects it. Poor from Banks there. I mean, he's played so well and then just does that. Ferguson manages to pick up the pieces, though. Crosses it in. It's towards Onyedinma at the back post. He's not going to get there. Guinness Walker can keep it alive, though. 4 in the box. Leai is 1. His shot is blocked, and it's going to be a corner for Reading. Ferguson is the man to go over to take it. On a 6.9 currently, if he gets an assist, he's going to go up to a 7.3. It's easily held by Wilson. Literally every single player, bar Ferguson and now Leai, is not on a green number. Every single player in our squad at the moment. Leai is playing poorly. I assume it's because he's come on and we're 3-0 up, so he doesn't need to do anything. McIntyre back to Boyce Clark, who we will be giving a new contract to, hopefully soon, to stop him basically crying. Guinness Walker's pass is awful. Or was it Guinness Walker or was it Leai not paying enough attention? Could have been both. It is Corness back to De Silva over the top. Finds Sims. He's got a little bit of space for himself, goes for goal. Boyce Clark, I think, manages to stop it. And it's not. It's gone straight over the bar. Right, let's do some subs. We're going to do a whole host of changes, I think. Riedwald is going to come on. Banks is going to come off as well. He's played, obviously, very well for Basil Chuma. Do we do Onyedinma as well for Aziz? I think we do. And then we've got Holtzman, Mbenge, Burgess and Savage. I think we're going to do Mbenge. There we go. So that's all of our subs. Hopefully we don't get any injuries because that could be pretty bad if we do. We've got, 12 minutes of normal time to play plus injury time, which is probably 6 minutes. Chalobah collects it for Coventry on the ground, but intercepted easily by McIntyre. McIntyre now goes for a little wander. Goes for a dribble. Why not? You may as well. We're 3-0 up, lads, with 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes. With 10 minutes left to play. It is Prestiani, though, collecting it for Coventry on the right-hand side. I think he's very good, isn't he, Prestiani? Tries to cross it and hits the first man, and now we can hopefully counter. Oh my word, Femi Aziz. Lovely spin there to get the ball past Lata Baldiri. Probably not his name. Cross comes in, Ballard's nowhere near it. Basil gets that one, hopefully. Yes, he does. 3 in the box. Tuma's cross. It's Aziz at the back post. He kind of gets it close. Goes over the bar though, still 3-0. We're still not quite finished yet. However, I think this match is basically done and dusted unless Coventry can get themselves a goal, which is entirely possible, isn't it? Palmer down the left-hand side. Easily picked up, though. Basil Chuma, number 48. Next season, Chuma's going to have a sensible squad number, okay? He's the only one who's in our regular squad who's got a squad number of higher than about 26. So I think we need to give him a sensible number. Boyce Clark as well probably needs the number 1 shirt. He'll get that when Button leaves. Prestiani for Coventry. Chalobah collects it in the middle. Finds Sims. He's got some options on the left-hand side. Invites Bidwell forward. Keeps going. He's got number 16 in front of him, which is Mbenge. Sims' effort is blocked. It's not blocked, it's over the bar. It's an absolute shambles of an effort by the sounds of it. Final couple of minutes of normal time. Coventry are starting to try and get back into this game. It's too little too late, let's be honest, but they are having a lot of highlights and a lot of possession in the last few minutes. So let's just weather the storm, get a clean sheet. We don't get a lot of clean sheets. This is a problem that we seem to have at the moment, and we're not going to get a clean sheet because Boyce Clark just went for a wander. Just went for an absolute wander. Gave up playing attention, didn't he? It's 3-1. 4 minutes of injury time, and we've nicked the ball away in a very good position. Leai towards Aziz. 2 in the box. One of them's Ballard, and Ballard's missed a sitter. He's done that far too many times. He was flagged as offside anyway, so it's not going to be too much of a problem, but he should have buried that chance. The full-time whistle goes then. It's a 3-1 win. It should have been 3-0. Realistically, it should have been 3-0. Boyce Clark actually played very well. XG of 2.01 with only 1 goal scored. So it's a very good performance from us defensively, I think. But, I mean, conceding a goal sucks. But we've got the win. We got the win. That's all that matters. 3 points. Right, before we go any further, I think we're going to try and get this deal done and make it permanent in January. So 40 grand, I want to get rid of any sell-ons because I hate doing sell-ons. That's a lot. It's pretty steep. They say 400,000. Let's do some negotiating. Right, I offered them that and they said no, which is 800,000. So we're going to have to come back to this maybe later on in January. Speaking of January, we are now going to go forward until the 1st of January. We'll play a match on camera, which I'm thinking we'll go for Millwall. We're going to do the Millwall game on camera, and then we're obviously going to have January transfer window going on in and around it, so we'll come back on the 1st. If there's any business that will take place on the 1st, then hopefully we'll get a few players in between the 1st and the 18th, and then a little bit after that as well, maybe. It is the 1st of January, and we have already done some business before we even got into January. If you are eagle-eyed enough, you might even spot a few new names. Against Watford, a 3-2 win here. Against Norwich, a 1-0 defeat. Who have we signed, you might ask? Well, 3 players have joined on permanent deals, all on free transfers. Matthew Bondswell is the first one. I think he's at Newcastle, and I've brought him in because at the end of the season we're losing Matt Penny, and I feel like Bondswell might have some potential, and he's basically third choice left back at the moment, will be second choice next season. We've also signed Jamal Lascelles, also formerly of Newcastle United, obviously. He got released at the end of the season, and he's dropped down to the Championship on £4,300 a week. I don't think I've really needed a new centre-back, but Jamal Lascelles, I think, is a good enough player for another season, maybe, especially if we don't get promoted, which I don't think we will. Having a 32-year-old Jamal Lascelles isn't the end of the world for another season, so I'm happy with that signing. And this one I'm ridiculously happy with. If you watch my Aston Villa save, you would have noticed I signed this man. I've brought him in on a free transfer. Niko Kavlina is a Croatian under-21 international, 3 caps to his name. He's ridiculous, right? He's absolutely ridiculous. Current ability-wise, I say current ability, current value-wise, £15.5 million. Now, our goalkeeper ain't going to be best pleased, because we've now got 4 goalkeepers who could arguably play first-team football. We are going to offer Conor Boyce-Clarke a new deal, but he's not going to be our number 1 goalkeeper anymore. We are probably going to lie to him and say that he will be, though. So obviously with the January transfer window open, we have some money to spend, but I don't think I'm going to do a huge amount of business at all. I'm going to try and look to bring in another player on a free transfer who got released in the summer, and that's pretty much it. However, it's going to be a bit of a fight because he was getting paid a lot of money at his former club. Right, ready for match number 2 of the episode, and we have done a small amount of transfer business. Not a lot, let's be honest. We've not done really much at all. In fact, we've done more transfer business before the window opened than we have now it has opened. We have sold exciting youngster Benji Purcell to Middlesbrough because I wasn't playing him and I don't think he was ever going to get into the first team, so we shifted him on for 825, potentially rising up to £1 million. And we brought in Ghanaian striker Kwame Pepra from Kerala in India. He was out of contract in the summer. I really need to have another striker because we have Kelvin and Ballard and then wingers who play up front. We needed like another striker who could kind of fill in when those players weren't particularly match fit. Pepra kind of fits the bill. He's cost £20,000. So, I mean, I feel like that's a bargain. Yes, he's not really got the most exciting career, but I'm hoping he can score some goals. He's also only 24, so there might be some room to grow. Other than that, we have played 3 matches so far as well. We have lost against Middlesbrough, we have beaten Woking in the Cup, and we have beaten Huddersfield away from home thanks to a 94th minute winner from Mika Hamilton. And it means right now, on 27 matches so far played, we are sat 5th place in the table, but there is a very big fight for basically, at the moment, I'd say the final 2 playoff spots between us, Sunderland, Burnley, Ipswich, Sheffield United, Hull, maybe even going down as far as Swansea as well. So there are a lot of teams potentially in that little playoff battle. We are leading the way at the moment. So the starting lineup then for the Millwall game will be Kavlina in goal and Benge, Holmes, McIntyre and Guinness Walker in defence. Although, which should be Lascelles, shouldn't it? Let's go with Holmes. Lascelles in defence, McIntyre and Guinness Walker. Offerbrook and Hamilton in midfield, Banks and Onyedinma on the wings, Ballard and Pepra leading the line. Pepra is getting a start today. I asked the assistant to pick, and they said I should play Pepra and Kelvin. I want to play Ballard. Ballard's arguably better than Kelvin, so I feel like we should be making sure that we get our best players on the pitch, so that's what we're going to go with. 40 seconds on the clock, and we've got a very early highlight. Pepra has gone over to take a free kick in a very deep position. Lascelles is up there. Doesn't manage to get it. Banks has controlled it kind of well. Gets his cross in the middle towards Lascelles. Doesn't find him, and Benge's there. And Amadou Mbenge blast that into the top corner. 1 minute played. We take the lead against Millwall. Not going to lie, that kind of came a little bit quicker than I was expecting, but I'm very happy that it has come already. 10 minutes on the clock. Martinez for Millwall plays it back to Hutchinson. That's not our former player, is it, Hutchinson? Wallace is going to go for a little wander forward with the ball. Damien back to Hutchinson again. Kicks it forward. Goncalves. Wallace putting a lot of pressure on him. Honeyman intercepted. That's what we want. There we go. Hamilton invites Scott Banks forward. Finds Don Ballard in the middle. Pepper. Clearly they don't play the offside rule in India, but it doesn't matter because Hutchinson's put the ball in the back of the net. Throughout the entire highlight, if you watch Pepra, number 26 down here, he's offside for most of it. He's offside from there, and he's just still offside, asking for the ball in the middle. Luckily, Hutchinson puts it in for us anyway. Oh, marvellous. Well, 24 minutes on the clock, and we have a hand injury to Kavlina, which means Boyce Clark is going to come on, and Benge is also kind of injured, so we're going to do Abrefa, who has been out on loan for the last season and a half. He's just come back, and he's actually pretty good. So, Abrefa's going to be making his first appearance on camera. That, by the way, is Little Kelvin, I think. You've got Big Kelvin and Little Kelvin. Since the injuries, we've had nothing at all. In fact, it has gone all the way through to half-time with no further highlights to talk about. 2-0 to the good. It looks like nothing has happened at all from a Millwall perspective. I don't think they've had a single shot. They haven't. They've had a lot of possession, but they're not managing to get past our entire squad. Pepper with the cross. Onyedinma with a bit of space. His first touch is horrendous. He should have just kicked it first time and gone for goal. We need to get there first. This is not good. Dior, he can go for a run off to the right-hand side, being pressured. It's still Dior, though. I think it's Offerborough with him. It's Guinness Walker actually collects it. Maybe it's not Offerborough. Boyce Clark, get it upfield. Just lump it upfield. I don't like us walking around our own penalty area. McIntyre, Guinness Walker, down the left-hand side is what we want to be doing. There's Fred. Go on, Fred, Onyedinma. In towards the middle. Number 9 is Don Ballard. 21's going for a run. Banks, that is, on that right-hand side. Guinness Walker's got it on the left. Slowly passing our way through this just brick wall of a Millwall side by the looks of it. Abrefa to Banks. He's got 5 in the middle to pick from. Offerborough's 1. He gets 2 bites of the apple and he makes it 3-0, his 4th of the season. Right, even though we've obviously done 2 subs already, I think we are going to do a couple more, and it's going to be Banks and Hamilton coming off. We're looking at fitness right now. So Charlie Savage, no, Riedwald coming on. We're going to do Aziz as well. We've got 1 more sub to do, which I'm going to hold on to just in case we've got somebody who needs to come off. McIntyre's not doing so hot. He's on a 6.6, but we're 3-0 up. So do we really care if we concede a goal at the moment? Almost into the final 10 minutes, and it looks like Mill will have a chance in a good position. Martinez is at the back post and hits it just wide of Boyce Clark. First real highlight of the game for Millwall, I think that one was. It's their 4th shot, but none of them have been on target just yet. Into the final 5 minutes. Let's just do a bit of a time-wasting sub. Who have we got on the bench? Let's do Kelvin. Sure, Kelvin from Ballard. And it didn't make a blind bit of difference what we did at the end because there were no highlights at all pretty much in the second half. A 3-0 win at home against Millwall. It's a good result. It's a decent win. Yes, Millwall were down the wrong end of the table, but you can see by all of the numbers in the back 5, you can see why we played so well. I mean, even Mbenge, he did get an injury, but he did get that goal as well. We just played really well in defence. Oh, magical. Magical, magical, magical. So, Kavlina is out for 5 weeks because he's broken his hand. Well, so he's joined the club and he's played 4 games, conceded 6, got 1 clean sheet and broken his hand. So, you know, he's had a fun, eventful couple of weeks, hasn't he? He's only been in the country for about 3 weeks. And Benge is out for just 1 to 2 days. Okay, that is not too bad. And there is a bit of news. We've sold Harley Dean to Portsmouth. Finally, Harley Dean's left. We are now going to jump forward to the 1st of February, where we will obviously have the end of the transfer window. And then we're going to play Swansea on camera as well to round out this episode. Just for your information, we've got £2.5 million to spend. We are over our wage budget. I'm probably looking to bring in another striker, and that's about it. I will tell you about the player that I wanted to sign. He's gone over to Saudi Arabia. It's Donny van der Beek. He was released from Man United, and he was just without a club for 6 months. And I offered him a contract. It was 25 grand a week, which he accepted. But obviously, the Saudi money came in, which is double what we offered. And he's moved over there. He would have been silly for us. I probably would have played him as a striker as well. A position that he definitely can't play. Right, the transfer window has closed and we have brought in another player. It's a player that we didn't need, but for the money that we've spent, I think we've got ourselves a very good deal. There is another player as well that I'm looking to sign, that we also don't need. And I don't think this is a good idea, but I'm probably going to do it anyway. So briefly talking about the outs then, Harley Dean obviously we know has left, gone to Portsmouth. Louis Holtzman has gone out on loan to Carlisle. Dynel Simeo has also gone out on loan this time. He is joining Harley Dean at Portsmouth. He's just decided to play for Southampton, Reading and Portsmouth, which I feel like is not a good idea. And we've also loaned out Kelvin Abrefa to Wigan because he's going to get game time playing for Wigan that he isn't going to get for us. He was there earlier on in this season, so we've kind of gone there, come back, and he's gone back there again. Joining the club is Chris Mepham for £22,000. He's only 27 years of age. And he's very, very good. So, we brought in Jamal Lascelles and Chris Mepham, two very good Premier League standard-ish central defenders. And there's another one that also might be joining. Courtney House got released by Aston Villa. I've offered him a contract. I've offered him a contract of £15,000 a week. And I think we're the only team who want him. So, I feel like Courtney House also might be joining, which means I might end up changing my formation to play three at the back. Because if you look at our squad at the moment, I've highlighted the central defenders there. So Lascelles, Burgess, McIntyre, Holmes and Mepham. 5 very good first-team quality centre-backs. And we might be getting a 6th in the shape of Courtney House. I think we've got too many defenders. We also don't have enough sort of strikers. We've got Ballard, Pepra and Kelvin. And that's it for strikers. I think we'll be fine. So the starting lineup then for the Swansea game will be Boyce Clark in goal, Ferguson, Lascelles, Mepham and Guinness Walker in defence, Offerborough and Hamilton in midfield, Banks, Onyedinma, Kelvin and Pepra leading the lines. I want to get a goal from Pepra. That's what I want to be seeing. I want a goal from Pepra. So I think we've also played one further match in between sort of the last match that we played against Millwall and the match now. Maybe one or two. We have been knocked out of the FA Cup against Leeds, which was not ideal. But we are still, as you can see, up in 5th place in the table, still at the top of the kind of chasing pack. A win against Swansea is kind of needed, because if we lose, Swansea get dragged into this battle as well. Banks' corner comes in, Lascelles is at the back post, he gets 2 chances. How have we not scored from any of that? Lascelles had 2 shots, the goalkeeper was on the floor for one of them, and then somebody else also had a shot where the goalkeeper was on the floor, and we didn't manage to get a goal out of it. Pedersen loses out to Ferguson. Good. Plays it back to Jamal Lascelles. Ferguson again down the right-hand side, please. There we go. Banks can go for a little run past a few Swansea players. Plays it on the ground to Offerborough. Invites him forward. Back to Banks. Lovely pass. And Banks goes for goal himself. His 9th of the season. And we really need to make this a permanent deal. He has been so good for us. Way better than I ever thought he would be. I brought Banks in to be a squad player as well, by the way. I brought him in to be a squad player because we didn't have a huge amount of wingers at the time, and he's turned into one of the first names on the team sheets. Pepra isn't going to win that header, not ideal. Yates plays it back to Darling. Now McCann on the halfway line. Goes for a little run, plays it forward to Sorinola. Loses out to Guinness Walker. That's what we like to see. Back to the Jamaican international Boyce Clark. Jamal Lascelles. Right hand side is Ferguson. Slow build from the defence is what I do like us doing slow builds. Even though we're playing gegenpress, we do slow build sometimes. Banks is in on goal. Can he get a second of the game? Turns his body, side foots it past Selvik. It is 2-0. Scotty Banks is on fire. And good to see as well there, Pepra getting an assist for that second Scott Banks goal. Cooper with a free kick for Swansea. McCann back to Cooper. We're going to put some pressure on. I think it was Kelvin who was potentially loitering around there. Yates isn't going to get there. Onyedinma to Mepham. Guinness Walker on that left-hand side. I do like the partnership of Lascelles and Mepham. Premier League experience playing in this side now. Cooper collects it. Plays it forward to John Joe Shelvey. John Joe Shelvey's playing for Swansea. Is he really playing for Swansea? I thought he was in Turkey, wasn't he? Sorinola takes the touch, goes for a long-range effort into the bottom corner, and Matthew Sorinola makes it 2-1. Swansea not out of this game yet. Just a few minutes later, another possible chance going the way of the Pinks of Swansea. Darling has it. Plays it forward. Sorinola's not going to get there first. Guinness Walker does. Good bit of defending from Guinness Walker. Onyedinma takes a few touches. 3 in the box. Hits the first man. Mika Hamilton dinks it towards Banks. And Scotty Banks has a first half hat-trick. He's got a first half hat-trick. Has he managed to score the perfect hat-trick? With left foot, right foot header? He's definitely got a header. And I'm pretty sure he's got a left foot. I don't know whether he got a right foot as his first goal. I know there's still obviously a lot of the season still to play. But beating Swansea here should be enough to kind of put them too far away from this sort of chasing pack and basically make that little pack smaller, which is what we need to be doing at the moment, because right now there are about 6 teams involved in this, And I don't like the fact there are so many teams involved in this chasing pack. If we can drop some teams, drop a Swansea, drop a Sunderland and a Burnley and an Ipswich, then it suddenly gets a little bit easier. In fact, if we drop an Ipswich, it means that, there's only going to be 3 teams battling for 2 positions. Second half has been fairly uneventful. We're going to do a couple of changes. Leai is going to come on the left-hand side. Do we want to do anything else? Banks is struggling. He's got his 3 goals. He's got a yellow card and he's not particularly doing so well. So we're going to do Aziz as well. Hamilton coming off for Charlie Savage. You don't get too many games at the moment. You're kind of annoyed that you don't get too many games. John Joe Shelvey with a corner for Swansea towards the back post. And it's 3-2. We really don't like keeping clean sheets, do we? We really like to just concede goals for fun. Kelvin with a free kick for us towards the back post. Pepra doesn't win it. Aziz does, though. Plenty of options in the box. One of them is Kwame Pepra. And Kwame Pepra gets his first goal in Reading colours. His first goal in English football as well. And we make it 4-2. Honestly, Pepra I didn't think would be good enough to play first team football. I expected it to be Kelvin and Ballard. And then Pepra might come off the bench or play if there's sort of fitness or injury concerns. Pepra's actually doing really well for us. In the games that he has played, Swansea coming forward, Boyce Clark makes a save, keeping it 4-2 for the moment, but it is a corner. Looks like John Joe Shelvey's going over to take it with his lovely shining head. Shelvey from the left-hand side then. Get the ball clear. Get it clear. It's Mepham. It's Ferguson. It's a volley clear as well. That's good defending. I'm happy with that. Sorinola with a throw for Swansea. One of the 2 goal scorers. And here's the other one, and I'm not even going to try and say his name. I can't even comprehend it, if I'm honest. It's Cooper with loads and loads of space, and we've given him even more. And Oliver Cooper makes it 4-3. Who's struggling here? Who is struggling? Guinness Walker looks like he's tired. He's on a 6.6. Lascelles, Mepham and Guinness Walker and Ferguson all of them playing badly. And Boyce Clark, because of course. Final 5 minutes of the match. We do obviously still have the lead. We're going to do a change. Kelvin off, Ballard on. Do we do any more changes? I'm thinking defensively, Ferguson for Holmes. Holmes can't really play as a right back, but Ferguson is struggling. Guinness Walker is struggling as well. 2 minutes to play, and I feel like there's a goal happening here. Boyce Clark holds on. Take your time, mate. We're 4-3 up. We don't need to do anything stupid. Boyce Clark slowly wandering around his penalty area. Boyce Clark is going to just drop it to somebody, isn't he? Okay, he's kicked it. That's good. Ballard isn't going to really do too much. Pepra to Aziz. Ballard is there. Controls it well. He doesn't control it well, in fact. It's cleared. We're going to keep it alive, though. Guinness Walker on the left-hand side. Goes a little bit too far wide. Finds Leai. 3 in the box if he can get across away. Plays it to Charlie Savage. Finds Offenborough outside the penalty area. Tries to curl it into the top corner. Hits the top of the bar. Goes over. Decent effort from Offenborough. The fact that we have had about 20 shots to Swansea's 4 is frustrating. Their goalkeeper's come up for that corner I've just seen, and we've nicked this. Aziz has the ball. It's about 4 versus 2. Pepra collects it. Play it on the ground to Ballard. Please, play it on the ground. Just get it in the box or something. Aziz now crosses it in. Charlie Savage is there. It's blocked. Leai is going to keep this alive. I thought he was going to go for goal himself. Aziz tries to get some space. He was offside. We've got 6 minutes of injury time. 2 of them remain. We are hopefully going to hold on to this. We do hold on. A 4-3 victory against Swansea. And we made that difficult. And by we, Boyce Clark made that difficult. Their XG was not even 1 and he let in 3. And we scored some very good goals. So we're going to end this episode sat in 5th place in the table with, 16 games left to play of the season. So we're going to have 2 more episodes, this season. So we're going to probably do something like that, I think is what we're going to go for. So we're most likely going to finish with the Coventry game. If we get it into the Championship playoffs, there might be an episode 5 of season 2. Oh, and a couple of days later, we can't quite confirm the Courtney House deal. We can do it if we can rearrange our transfer budget and our wage budget. So we're going to delay and see if we can fix something, because I do want to get him in, but we can't change anything because we're slightly over our budget. Maybe we're not getting Courtney House. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.